What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. I am like super close to this camera right now, but you know what? I'm not even going to try and adjust it. Anyways, you guys, I hope everybody had a very, very, very nice and enjoyable and relaxing Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully we all thought about all of the veterans that gave their lives for us to have a 3-day weekend. I know I have quite a few family members that have fought in one war or another, and thankfully none of them, lost their lives in a war, but they definitely, you know, were brave to fight for this country. You guys, what is going on with this? I don't know what's going on with this. My bad. But yeah, so I hope everybody had a very happy, safe, and enjoyable, relaxing Memorial Day weekend. So anyways, I'm here tonight to talk about The Real Housewives of Dallas, season 1, episode number 8. I just finished watching the episode, actually. Sorry I didn't get to blog last week. I didn't blog at all last week because I don't even really have an excuse as to why I didn't blog last week. Just being lazy, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to get into, hold on, I'm trying to get my notes down. Sometimes it's just hard to get into it when like you come home from work and you got things to do. I only have basically 3 hours before I need to get dinner done and hang out with my daughter, help her with her homework, or just relax because she goes to bed at 9. I get home at 6. We get home at 6 and she goes to bed at 9. And so during that time, I try to just be available to her and then be available to my husband or whatever. And it's just, I don't know. But anyways, you guys don't want to hear my little sob story about my life. I just need to get better at using my crock pot. I love my crock pot. I usually use it a lot, but I don't know, lately I've been just lazy. And then I get home and I'm like, I don't want to go to fast food, but then sometimes you don't have a choice. Anyways, you guys, look, it's 2 minutes into it. Let's get into this video. Real Housewives of Dallas, season 1, episode number 8. We open up with Stephanie and her husband Travis and their boys. They are just look like they're having snacks or something. I don't know, in the kitchen. She is just saying they're fighting with each other or whatever. She's just having boys is a tough job. She doesn't half the time know even what to do with the boys or whatever. And so it's almost her husband's birthday. So she's talking to him about the fact that he needs to stay with the boys because she's going to go with Brandy to look at a venue for the birthday party that she's throwing for him, because I guess, his birthday is a big deal, which I get it because my birthday is my favorite holiday. It is I love when my birthday come around. I don't understand when people say that they don't enjoy their birthdays and they don't really want to celebrate their birthday. Actually, tomorrow, June 1st, is my husband's birthday, and he's one of those people. He's not really into celebrating his birthday. He might have a few friends come over. Me, I need it to be all about me. I want something big. I want something grand. I mean, not as far as gift-wise, but I just want just everybody doting on me, and I just love it. It's your day, it is your day. Anyway, so I get it, Travis. I understand, because later in the episode, I think she said Travis's birthday is something like the second coming of Christ or something like that. She said, I'm I understand, it's a very important day. Anyway, so he tells her that he wants her to take his assistant basically to ask the questions that she doesn't normally ask, basically about price and all of this and all of that or whatever. He feels she needs a little extra help besides Brandy, I guess, to get things done. And so anyway, so they're at the venue and they're looking at the venue, and Brandy asks her what she's getting him for his birthday, and she's not sure. And Brandy's get him a go to the grave gift. And I'm really? Do you want to get somebody a grave site on their birthday? Really, Brandy? But they thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny, especially when she was I can't wait for him to die so we can walk around and sprinkle his ashes to see where we're going to sprinkle it at. I'm no, this is a little morbid. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that joke. I don't know if I like that one. Anyways, what else is going on? That's pretty much it. It wasn't really much to the scene. And the next thing we see Carrie and her husband, they are at the clinic. They are finishing up, I guess, a surgery or whatever. And they're sitting down discussing their daughter's third birthday. Oh, she's turning 3. Their daughter is turning 3. Carrie says that she's getting her a white cake because she doesn't want chocolate to get all over the girls' clothes or whatever. I'm like, they can get white vanilla cake all over themselves just as easily as they can get chocolate cake. But I guess, it's not as hard to, I guess it's easier to wash out vanilla cake or whatever. And then her husband's like, how many gifts should we get her? And she's like, don't get her any more than one, which he ended up buying her more than one gift, of course. And the little girl is like, she didn't want any gifts. And then she opened up one gift. She didn't even want to open up that gift. I'm like, girl, send them gifts over here to me. I will open up as many as you gonna give me, okay? But Carrie's like, her daughter is very much like her in that they're not really into receiving gifts. I guess Carrie was saying something about her family used to own a bank, so she's really into budgeting and saving money and things like that. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Nothing really going on with Carrie and her hubby. Leanne and her boyfriend meet for lunch to discuss. Leanne has a speaking engagement because her goal is to become like a motivational speaker and speak at different events. So she was asked to speak at this event called the Brace, an event for the Grace Project, which is an organization that helps women dealing with HIV. So, they're sitting there talking or whatever. He's just basically just giving her some words of encouragement. She says in her blog that he is like her calm in the storm. And whenever she's nervous about something, she knows she can go to him and talk to him and, all of that good stuff. And I'm just like, okay. Nothing really going on with that either. I don't know. This was a pretty boring episode. I don't even know if I can even make it exciting. I don't even have any jokes or anything. But it's time for the day of her event, Leanne's event, and she I actually think she does a pretty good job. Stephanie comes to support her because her and Stephanie, they made up. And then they made up, I think it was in last week's episode. And then of course Tiffany comes. Tiffany's her BFF, so Tiffany comes and to support her as well. And I think Leanne really did a good job. She was saying that when she was a child, like around 3 or 4 years old or something like that, she was abandoned by her mom. Basically, her whole speech was how we put labels on ourselves and how other people put labels on us, and then we actually put labels on ourselves. So she was saying, growing up, she always had a label applied to herself. And basically, when she was a little child, she was abandoned by her mother, and the label that she put on herself was unworthy. Then she said when she was like a teenager, she was molested and raped by one of her friends' dads. And so she said that made her, that label was not valued. And then she said when she was engaged, the guy tried to kill her. And so that label is that, she was unloved. And she was just telling the women that HIV is a disease. It's not a label. It's not who you are. So don't make that be, the label that you apply to yourself in your everyday life or whatever. She was also saying that 2 women in the community had been murdered because they were found out to be HIV positive. And I'm like, oh my God, really? Wow. I couldn't imagine being HIV positive. I couldn't imagine having any kind of terminal disease like that. Even though nowadays people are living longer lives, long, nice, healthy lives with HIV, and it's not as not so much as a death sentence as it used to be, but I still just could not imagine having anything like that. So to have places to go like the Grace Project, I think it's very, very important. And, goodness, it's just even hard to talk about. I have people in my family that have HIV, and they've been living with it for a very, very, very long time. And, everything is good. So hopefully one day there will be a cure for it. It's very sad. And a lot of times women, if you're not like a drug user, you're catching it from, a man. And a lot of, your people's husbands are on the down low, or they're just hoes. and they sleeping with this woman and that woman and this woman and sleeping with these nasty tricks, and you know what I mean, like, you know, it's just, you never know, because now, especially nowadays, people don't even look like they have HIV all the time when they do have it. Like, you know, back in the day when it was new, people would get really sick, and it was easier to tell, and I'm sure there's people even still today, you know, that get really, really sick, but and lose a lot of weight and things like that, but it's a lot easier, I think, to manage these days. But anyways, I'm just rambling, but it's just really sad to think about it, and it's even more sad to think that someone lost their lives because, like, not from the disease, but because they were murdered for, you know, having HIV. Yeah, can't even imagine how that must be. Anyways, let's move on. So Stephanie, back to Stephanie's house. Stephanie and her family, they're sitting down for dinner. It's kind of cute. They all sitting down for dinner together, and they're talking about her husband's birthday again, and she's asking the boys, you know, what kind of cake that she should get, and they're like a poo cake or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, they've been hanging around with Stephanie and Brandy a little bit too much, okay? Because these kids and their mothers are obsessed with poop and farts and all of that stuff that I don't want to talk about. Women should not talk about that stuff. Nobody should talk about that stuff, okay? You just do it on your own private time, you know, and get it over with, and nobody needs to discuss it. We all know what's gonna happen, but we don't need to discuss it, okay? Anyways, so then her and her husband, they sit down after the boys are in the bed, and they sit down and kind of discuss it. And he's basically wanting to run the show. And she's like, you know, I want it to be kind of a surprise for you or whatever. She tells him that she feels like he micromanages her, and she doesn't like it because as a child, you know, there was so much pressure put on her from her family to, you know, be perfect. So she puts a lot of pressure on herself. And with him micromanaging her, it just makes her anxiety and all that pressure even worse. And he was just basically saying, like, you know, with him growing up, his mother gave him lists like every single day, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. So now we understand why he gives her lists, you know, like, you need to change the light bulb, you need to do this and that or whatever. And he's like, you know, he will try to change it, you know, because he doesn't want her to feel that way, which I thought was sweet that he listened to her. Unlike Brandy's husband. But in the last episode that I didn't blog about, Brandy's husband did take her out, and he apologized for walking out on her, and he, you know, said that he was going to make it a point to spend more time with her and things like that, you know, side note. Anyways, but yeah, so it was kind of cool to see Stephanie and Travis, you know, sitting there and Stephanie being able to open up to him, and him actually sitting there and listening and taking it in instead of like denying it and like, I don't like that. What are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. You know, like a lot of people tend to do. But he listened to her and took it in. So I thought that was really cool. And he does, like I was saying before, he really seems to be into her. He really seems to, you know, really love her and care about, you know, their marriage or whatever. So that's always so sweet when you have a relationship like that. So anyways, in the next scene, we see Brandy. She calls Leanne and invites Leanne out to lunch because she knows that Stephanie invited Leanne to the birthday party. And she doesn't want there to be any conflict with her and Leanne. She wants things to, you know, just go smoothly. She doesn't want, you know, because the last few times that they've gotten together, there's been an argument. Mostly Leanne, on Leanne's end, in my opinion. But yeah, so there's been like an argument or whatever. So Leanne accepts it. For some reason, Brandy was really nervous, but you know, Leanne accepts the invitation to go out for lunch, and so they end up meeting for lunch. And Brandy immediately starts saying, you know, how she knows that she can push people's buttons, and she doesn't necessarily mean to. She's just a fun spirited person, but she apologizes, you know, if she did push, you know, she apologizes for pushing Leanne's buttons and getting under her skin or whatever, and thinking it's funny or whatever. So she's sitting there waiting on Leanne to apologize to her. And Leanne did say, like, you know, when it comes to you, my reactions to you are not always appropriate. But she doesn't necessarily apologize. And Brandy's like, I don't think that was an apology, you know. I don't think it was an apology either, Brandy. So you're not alone. But when I read the Bravo blogs and I read Leanne's and Tiffany's blogs, they both seem to think that that was Leanne's way of apologizing. So maybe that's just how she does her apologies or whatever. So I guess they decide that they can move on. They give each other hugs. And, you know, I'm like, whatever, y'all. Hopefully this lasts because I really didn't even understand what the hell the whole issue was with the two of them. So it's party time, you guys. It's party time. Carrie comes in. She's surprised. She's really surprised that Brandy has made up with Leanne because, you know, she comes in and she sees how Stephanie is, you know, talking to Leanne, and she told Stephanie told Carrie that, you know, they basically decided to move on. But Carrie is like, no, Stephanie tells Carrie that she's decided to move on with Leanne. Carrie's like, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I ain't got time to be thinking about this crazy bitch. But, you know, whatever. If you want to be all up in her ass or you want to be all buddy with her, okay, that's fine. You do you. But I personally don't have time for the chick, okay? That's basically what Carrie was saying. And she just basically, I don't know, Carrie... You know, especially because of the way that they treated her in the last episode when they went to that little goth party or whatever. They were basically mean to her. Leanne and the host, I think her name was Heidi, they were very rude to Carrie when Carrie first came in. And Carrie was... I guess she didn't really make it any better because when she first came in, she didn't really try to mingle with the group. You know, she was kind of to herself. But I think she just feels really uncomfortable around Leanne and her friends. And I think that's what it is. But as a host, I would have thought that the chick would have went up to Carrie and at least tried to welcome her into the group and get her talking with everybody. Because that's what good hosts and hostesses do. They go around each guest. They try to get each guest talking to each other so that they don't always have to be there to facilitate the conversations. You know, you introduce people, try to get them talking, and then you move on to the next group of people or whatever. But, you know, I just feel like Leanne and that chick just really wanted Carrie to feel like an outsider at the same time that Carrie was kind of making herself feel like an outsider. You know what I mean? Anyway, so, like, whatever. So Brandy is sitting down with Tiffany and Leanne, and all of a sudden, I guess since Brandy apologized, like Leanne is just so team Brandy. She's telling Brandy about some story that her and Tiffany had ate a whole bunch of jalapenos and they both had to go to the bathroom and they were screaming to bring ice into the bathroom, I guess to rub on their booty holes because their booty holes was burning. And I'm just like, ew. One, I don't want to hear that bullshit. And two, Leanne, I thought you didn't like the poop stories, okay? I guess you just didn't like the poop stories because you and Brandy weren't friends. But now that you and Brandy are friends, it's okay to talk about poop and farting and all of that stuff, okay? I get it. All right, whatever, girl. Okay. So Brandy's like, oh my God, I think I like you two now. So this is what's going to happen. I know, Leanne, you have a birthday party coming up. So we're going to go down to Dallas, and it's Tiffany's birthday, and it's Stephanie's birthday, and it's also Carrie's birthday. So we're going to just go down and have a girls' weekend and celebrate you guys' birthday or whatever. So at the same time, she's telling her this, Leanne, Carrie and Stephanie are talking, and Stephanie tells, you know, Carrie about the whole threesome, and Carrie is just like, please, I do not want to be around Leanne, but, you know, whatever. So, of course, they're going to all go because I guess this is going to be their, like, you know, little trip because this is episode 8. I think they only have 10 episodes. So, you know, of course, this is going to be their big trip for the season or whatever. And it looks like it's not going to go so well based on the previews. So, next week, my blog will probably be a little bit more exciting than this week. There's not really much going on, you know. At the end of the party, you know, when Stephanie and her husband gets home, she finally gets into a cake and jumps out of a cake and sings him happy birthday, which is what he really wanted her to do from the beginning. He wanted her to do it at the party, jump out of a cake in a bikini, and she's like, she wasn't comfortable with that. And I'm like, I don't know how many wives would be comfortable with that, jumping out of a cake in front of like a whole bunch of people. I don't even know how many husbands would be comfortable with their wives doing that, but you know, whatever. Travis is funny. But he really appreciated her making the effort to do it for him, even if it was, you know, at home and in private. But she's like, I am not giving you a lap dance, okay? And that's pretty much how the episode goes off. He seems to really, like I said, he seems to really be into her. He thinks that she is just, fine as wine or whatever. And I think it's really cute. Their relationship together is really cute, even though he's a little overbearing. But now that he knows how she feels about it, hopefully he changes all of that up, Anyways, that's really all I have, you guys. Sorry this was not that exciting, but I mean, the episode wasn't really that exciting. But anyway, so that's all I have for the Real Housewives of Dallas. Tell me, you guys down below what you guys think about the Dallas ladies. I like them. They're just a little bit of drama going on, but not a whole lot of drama going on. It's mainly one person that keeps up this, keeps up the drama or whatever. So, overall, I like the women. They're leading normal, everyday housewife lives. And that's what you want to see when you see the housewives, Like I said, next week, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more going on. Of course, Leanne's going to be right smack dab in the middle of it, as always. And then until next time, you guys, please stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel is just saying. Bye-bye.